I had the trailer sold for $5,000. I listed it on eBay. I have a copy of the listing. And
How much did it cost you to list it?
$62.
Okay, so go on.
I have a receipt for that as well.
May I see that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so that kind of means that you should be, all right, so what you're saying is you had it sold for $5,000, that's a $1,000 profit.
Yes.
But then when we take away the $62 in expenses, we're left with $938 that's supposed to be split, divided by 2. Get it? Like you're adding 62, but you should be subtracting 62. All right, so you want your $469.
Yes, Your
All right, and so when you call him about that you had it sold for $5,000, I assume you thought he was going to be happy. How much later was that, by the way?
June 3rd.
June 3rd, and you had entered into this agreement with him on
May 8th.
May 8th, and the agreement was for 60 days.
Yes. So I thought I had ample time.
Sure. So how do you reach him to tell him I got it sold for $5,000?
I called him. I've left messages. Mike, I have it sold. Please call me back. Mike, it's sold. Call me back. It's very important when you sell. He threatened me.
What did he say? What did he answer about why he was gone?
He says he sold it on his own. Big deal. He says, I can do whatever I want. It's my trailer.
Even if the defendant found the buyer, does the plaintiff get a cut?
Yes.
Why?
Because they signed a contract.
He had the buyer. He paid to list it. He followed the rules. But in the end, his friend sold it behind his back, pocketed the cash, and ghosted him. And when called out, he had the audacity to say, "It's my trailer. I'll do what I want." This isn't just betrayal. This is a classic case of two-timing double cross. This one's messy, and it's got everything. Contracts, betrayal, eBay drama, and courtroom fireworks. We're breaking it all down in today's explosive case, double-crossed on a trailer. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more courtroom takedowns and unfiltered justice. It all began when Mitchell Bergerer agreed to help Mike Baronato sell his utility trailer. The two put pen to paper, literally, and signed a written agreement. The deal was clear.
Anything you sell it over $4,000, first expenses are taken out, and then the rest of that is shared 50-50.
That contract was valid for 60 days. Mitchell listed the trailer on eBay, shelled out $62 of his own money, and even had a buyer ready to hand over $5,000 cash. He was about to close the deal when everything unraveled. He called Mike, left messages, sent reminders.
Mike, it's sold. Call me back. It's very important.
But Mike, radio silence. So what was Mike's excuse? He stood in court and shrugged it off.
I told him in the beginning that I was still selling my trailer. It wasn't exclusive to sell the trailer.
Okay, wait a second. So what you're saying is, despite the fact that you signed this contract, that it's not exclusive?
He didn't have the exclusive right to sell the trailer. I told him I had other people trying to sell a trailer. I was trying to sell my own trailer.
Okay.
And then the kicker.
He says he sold it on his own. Big deal.
Big deal? That's all he had. Never mind the signed contract, the 60-day binding period, or the fact that Mitchell had already lined up a buyer. According to Mike, it was all just a casual thing between buddies. But the judge wasn't buying it, not for a second. Here's where the gavel dropped, hard. The judge zeroed in on that written agreement, reading aloud.
This agreement is binding for 60 days.
And when Mike tried to wiggle out of it, saying it wasn't exclusive, the judge fired back.
Who's it binding on? It can't. You can't force him to sell it, so it can't be binding on him. The only guy it could be binding on is you.
That's when it hit Mike.
I guess it is binding on me.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Exactly. This wasn't a handshake deal. This was a signed document with real financial consequences. Mitchell had receipts, call logs, listings, and a buyer. Mike, just weak excuses and a casual disregard for the contract. Even worse, Mitchell's reputation on eBay took a hit. The judge called it out. Listing something that's not available ruins credibility. That's real damage. The moment everything collapsed for Mike came when the judge started connecting the dots.
If you were to try to sell your house and you had a realtor, and then you turned around and say, well, you didn't sell it, I sold it behind your back, the realtor would look at you, sue you, and then win, because you have an agency contract.
That's exactly what Mitchell had. A real, written, time-stamped contract. Not vague promises, not friendly favors. An agency contract. Mike tried to spin it again.
Well, he knew we didn't have an exclusive.
But the judge stopped him cold.
This agreement is between Mike Baronato and Mitchell Berger as agent to sell the item in question. Anything over $4,000 minus expenses will be shared 50-50.
Not only that, Mitchell didn't just talk. He came to court with the eBay listing. the $62 listing fee receipt, call logs proving he made 7 attempts to reach Mike. A buyer lined up at $5,000. Mike? Nothing. Not a single document or name of another buyer. The bombshell? Mike admitted the contract was binding.
I guess it is binding on me.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And that was game over. With no leg to stand on, Mike stood there and folded, but the judge wasn't done yet.
You signed this document with binding for 60 days.
Contract says you get a cut, you get a cut.
The verdict?
Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $469.
Okay.
Mike dropped. Even after all that, Mike tried to save face in the hallway interview.
Didn't think he had an exclusive to sell the trailer. I mean, I made that offer to a lot of people. Mitch put it in writing. And I guess the way it's worded there with the binding thing, judge is right. I mean, I have no complaints. And Mitch is a nice guy. I mean, it's not going to cause a friendship or anything like that.
Sure, Mike. Real friends screw you over for $500 and then vanish when you've already done the hard work. Mitchell walked out with his head high and his money owed. So what's the lesson here? Don't ignore a contract just because you feel like it. Don't ghost someone after they did all the legwork. And definitely don't walk into court with zero evidence, thinking charm alone will win you the case. Mitchell played by the rules, kept receipts, and brought the fire. Mike brought vibes, and vibes don't win in court. This was a classic takedown of a double-crossing defendant who thought he could dodge accountability, but not on the people's court. Smash that subscribe button if you love seeing justice served with no nonsense, and drop a comment. Was this the most blatant betrayal you've seen on daytime TV?